Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a card with a few new items from the Say It with Stamps collection from PhotoPlay. We're going to use Hocus Pocus. We're going to create a Halloween scene, and then we're also going to be using a new slimline die set. This is called the number 9 box oval and pennants die set. It has stitch detail on all of the pennant banners, and then there's 2 fun frames, or outlines, I should say, and for a slimline card. So we're going to use this today on our project as well. There's coordinating dies for the Hocus Pocus we're going to use too. Let's jump in and get started. We're going to stamp the boots that have the stars on them, the witch's broomstick, the witch hat, and then also the cauldron. I'm going to stamp here with some ink that is alcohol marker friendly. These are images. Now I'm going to show you the colors of markers that I'm going to be using today. I have basically traditional Halloween colors. I'm going to play some music while I color. We'll zoom in a little bit, and when I'm done coloring, I will get you back. Okay, coloring is all done. I am going to zoom back out, and we're going to take the coordinating dies and we're going to die cut out our images. Now while we're die cutting, I'm also going to take the number 9 box oval and pennants die set. I'm going to take our 2 slimline dies, and we're going to use some colored cardstock. We're going to die cut out. I want to make a frame with this dark purple cardstock. So what we're going to do is layer these 2 together and die cut this out. And then also with our blue cardstock, I'll take our largest die and die cut this out along with this bright green. I'm going to die cut out a panel with that as well. So we're going to go ahead and finish up our die cutting, and then I will be right back. Okay, die cutting is all done, and I did do a little bit extra. I created a pennant banner for my sentiment. This has the little zigzag edges. I thought it would be cute for our sentiment. I did die cut out and color in actually some of the cauldron bubbles. I forgot that was in the stamp set. I think that's going to be really cute, kind of floating out of our little Hocus Pocus mixture. And then also two more things. Using a circle die, I cut out a yellow circle. That's going to be a great moon. And then I also created a circle the same size with masking paper. We'll do a little masking to create our background. Now we're going to put everything aside, and then these are our three. Of course, we're going to make a slimline card today, but these are our three panels. This is great for scene building. We're going to frame it with our purple. Our blue, I got chopped off a little bit on the end, but it's going to be covered with our green. What I mean by that is we're going to take our green panel. For this, we're using the number 9 border die set. This set is perfect for scene building, and I'm partial to these two. Hillsides, we'll take both of those. It's probably going to be a little too wide to run through the die cut machine, so what we're going to do is trim this panel in half, and I'll die cut one here. I'm going to flip this around, and then I'll die cut out another, just so we have some different shaped hills. We'll tape those down, run these through our die cut machine, and then while we're at it also, I'm not sure if I'm going to use them or not, but I'm going to use the Say It with Stamps cloud dies. These are nice for scene building also. I'll use some white cardstock, and we'll die cut out some clouds with this one here. Now that we have our grass and our clouds cut, we're going to do a little bit of ink blending in our background. So I'm bringing in my craft mat here, and I love doing this with my blending brushes. We're going to start with a dark blue ink on some light blue cardstock. I'm going to pick up some color just using a blending brush, and we're going to go around the edges here. Now before we continue down here, I'm going to take that mask that I created with the circle die. I'm going to remove the release paper. I'm going to add this to our background, and we're going to continue on here. After we have this done, we're going to go bold and bring in our black ink, and then we'll take our blending brush and go around the edges with our black ink. Okay, I think that looks great. So we have our blue and our black. We're going to do one last color because I want a little moon glow. And for that, I'm going to use a orangey yellow ink. We'll pick some of this up, and then I'm going to go around our masking paper here. I'll just kind of spread this out here. It creates kind of a moon glow. You really don't need the mask to do this, but for me it's a great guide on where to add that little moon glow, and it's also nice because you can replace it with your yellow moon. I'm going to take that same blending brush, and we're going to go around our yellow cardstock to give this moon a little bit of color. Then our moon is good to go here, kind of in a C shape. After we have this done, I'm going to take our grass, our hillside, and we're going to add some green ink to the very bottom. kind of trail down a little bit. I don't mind mixing it with my yellow, like so. And we'll do the same to this piece. And then finally, we are going to take our clouds. Since these are really bright white, I thought we can spooky them up a little bit by adding a little bit of our black ink on the edges and on the bottom, just so they're not bright white. Okay, so our cloud, everything has a little bit of ink to them, and it's just going to add to our sky effect. We're going to first take our hill that's going to go behind. I'm going to add some adhesive behind it. This is going to go towards the upper portion of our panel here. I'm going to lower it just a little bit. Okay, after we have that adhered, I have a little corner showing, but we're not concerned about that because we have our frame. And speaking of our frame, I'm going to add some adhesive to the very bottom. And then we can tack down our second grassy area to our frame. I love scene building. I think it's super fun. And it fits like a glove because we used that die. We cut this out with cardstock. Now to create a little dimension, I'm going to take this and our moon, and we're going to add some foam adhesive behind our clouds, our moon, and our frame. Let's finish off removing the release paper. And I did add my moon over here off to the side. A little's overhanging, but I'm not worried because we are going to trim that off with our scissors. Kind of looking a little spooky. Now we're going to add our clouds. I put foam adhesive behind here already. And we'll do a little tucking with these. And what I like to do is let them overhang a little bit. Before we go any further, I want to stamp my sentiment. And for this, let's stamp What's Brewing. I think that is adorable. And I'll stamp this with my black ink. And it stamps wonderful. I'm going to put this sentiment behind my cauldron. Then we can add our cauldron down here. And then we have our little cauldron bubbles. I'm not going to add foam adhesive behind here, but I do want them to be coming up from our potion mix. Like so. Okay, our scene is done. Now all we do is flip this around. We're going to add some foam adhesive. We're going to add some tape behind our scene. And then, you know what's super easy? We're going to take our card base. It's nice that Say It with Stamps collection has, I have two actually. These are really nice. They're pre-scored for you. They measure 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. Perfect slimline card. And then there's coordinating envelopes that will go with it. And there are 10 in a pack. It makes creating your card bases easy peasy. So I'm going to take the die that we used, the largest in our box oval and pennant set. And I'm going to round the edges here. Okay, I ran this through my die cut machine, and when I ran it through, I made sure that my cut edge over here on the right my die was overlapping it. This way I have the stitch detail, but I have a card base still, because if you were just to cover it, your card wouldn't open. But I do have the stitch detail, which is really nice. So let's take our background panel. I put adhesive behind it already, and we can layer this right over the top. That is a fun decorative card. I love the way this looks. Last but not least, in our night starry sky, I'm going to add some silver glitter specks. I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle. I'm going to lastly take some glossy accents, and we're going to add that over our cauldron bubbles and then our cauldron mixture here. And that finishes off my card today. A fun, spooky little scene. It's not too spooky. But thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon.